Hi guys, so let's start with today's class. We were discussing chapter 5 and 6 in last class. We discussed about how to calculate marginal utility. Then we came to concept of diminishing marginal utility. We discussed how to calculate consumer surplus. What's the optimum level of combination in one good case, optimum level of combination in two goods case. Now we are proceeding further. So we will be continuing the chapter 5 and 6 only. So it will take, I think, even after today's class, it will take me 2 more classes to wind up chapter 5, 6. These are important chapters and quite heavy chapters. A lot of content is there in these chapters. So it will take me at least 3 classes to cover up these 5, 6. So let's start. Let's now move to the concept of opportunity cost. ये हम लोग already कर चुके हैं. So you know opportunity cost is the cost of any activity that is basically the best alternative foregone. Now, why we are doing this opportunity cost revision is that whenever in a business a firm is employed, they basically incur two type of expenses. We know firm employs different factors. ठीक है, firm को land भी चाहिए, labor भी चाहिए, capital भी चाहिए, raw materials भी चाहिए. So firm basically needs various factors to, work on the goods and services production. So some of the factors may be owned by the firm itself. Some are not owned by firm. Those are external factors. Now, when I say factors are owned by the firm, that means maybe I'm in need of land. And supposingly, if I am a firm, I have an extra land where I can do the production of goods and services. If I'm in need of labor, I have one idle family member who is sitting idle and I can employ him or her for labor. I'm in need of capital and I have some extra money in my own account which I can use for capital. So that means if I am providing the services on my own, that becomes the factors which are owned by the firm itself. If I am not providing the services on my own, those are external factors. So in usually cost को, the factors which are owned by the firm itself, but still there is a cost involved in that. कि अगर आप अपनी capital use कर रहे हो, अपनी money use कर रहे हो, that doesn't mean कि that money is coming out free. You are basically sacrificing the cost that you could have earned on that particular money if you are using your own labor. You are sacrificing the wages or earnings that you would have earned somewhere else. So there is a cost involved by using the factors to produce the good rather than some other good. These costs are known as implicit cost. The factors which are not owned by firms are external factors. We hire these factors, we have to pay to these factors. The cost is explicit cost. Now, let's discuss the cost in detail. And to discuss the cost in detail, we would basically have to segregate between short run and long run production. So, short run means period in which at least one factor has to remain fixed. Now we know there are multiple factors which are used by firms to produce goods and services. हम दो factors simplicity के लिए assume करते हैं. One is land and the other one is labor. Land को हम कहते हैं fixed capital or we can say it as a fixed factor because it will definitely take some time to change the supply of land. Labor is my variable factor. शॉर्ट रन मतलब when we are talking about that particular period जिसमें मैं सिर्फ अभी के लिए सिर्फ लेबर चेंज कर सकती हूँ, मैं इतनी जल्दी लैंड नहीं चेंज कर सकती. मतलब period in which one factor at least has to remain fixed. For example, either land has to remain fixed or capital has to remain fixed. You can vary one variable factor, but you cannot vary the fixed factor in this case. Long run, period of time over which all the factors can be varied. So this gives us another concept. Fixed factor का मतलब one that cannot be changed in short run. Example, capital. Variable factor means one that can be changed in short run. Example, raw materials or labor. So just note it down. So all those who have noted it down, let's now move to the next concept. Next concept is law of diminishing marginal returns. Now, what does this law of diminishing marginal return says? We have discussed this law of diminishing marginal utility. Law of diminishing marginal utility क्या कहता है कि as you keep on consuming more of a particular good or service, the utility that you get from that particular consumption keeps on declining. Law of diminishing कहता है कि हम कह रहे हैं कि हम एक फैक्टर को फिक्स रख रहे हैं और एक फैक्टर को वेरिएबल रख रहे हैं शॉर्ट रन में. ठीक है, तो जो भी फैक्टर वेरिएबल है और जो भी फैक्टर आपका फिक्स है, तो देयर इज अ लिमिट कि आप फिक्स फैक्टर में कितना मर्जी वेरिएबल, थोड़ा ना कि फिक्स फैक्टर में आप जितना मर्जी वेरिएबल फैक्टर ऐड करते रहोगे तो आपका आउटपुट इंक्रीज होता रहेगा. सो एज यू कीप ऑन इंक्रीजिंग वेरिएबल फैक्टर with fixed amounts of fixed factor, eventually your total output will decrease. पहले वो इंक्रीज करेगा लेकिन एक लिमिट तक इंक्रीज करेगा. अब इसके बाद अगर आप फिक्स फैक्टर फिर भी वेरिएबल फैक्टर बढ़ाते रह रहे हो और फिक्स फैक्टर को आप चेंज नहीं कर रहे, तो देन दैट मीन्स योर इवेंचुअल आउटपुट विल स्टार्ट डिक्लाइन. So this gives rise to our total product curve. Basically total product क्या दिखाता है? Amount of output produced over a given time period from a given quantity of inputs. ठीक है, so let's suppose this is labor and this is my total product. So first your total product increases at increasing rate. Why it increases at increasing rate? Because you are increasing your variable factor. तो अब पहले आप let's suppose लेबर एक रख रहे थे, अब लेबर 2 रखने से ऑब्वियसली योर टोटल प्रोडक्ट विल इंक्रीज. पहले लेट्स सपोज यू वर एबल टू प्रोड्यूस 50 यूनिट्स, नाउ यू आर एबल टू प्रोड्यूस 70 यूनिट्स. So till this point total product will increase but at an increasing rate. Now अब बहुत ज्यादा लेबर मैं बढ़ाई जा रही हूँ और मैं फिक्स फैक्टर को चेंज नहीं कर रही, तो टोटल प्रोडक्ट बढ़ेगा तो सही, लेकिन डिक्रीजिंग रेट पर. क्यों डिक्रीजिंग रेट पर? लेट्स सपोज यहाँ पे 50 से 70 हुआ, थर्ड फेज पे 70 से 90 हुआ, तो 20 का इंक्रीज आ रहा है. फोर्थ पे लेट्स सपोज 90 से 100 हुआ, 10 का इंक्रीज. फिफ्थ पे लेट्स सपोज 100 से 105 हुआ, 5 का इंक्रीज तो हो रहा है, लेकिन जो रेट ऑफ इंक्रीज है दैट इज कंटिन्यूअसली डिक्लाइनिंग, बिकॉज हम सिर्फ एक फैक्टर को चेंज कर रहे हैं और हम दूसरे फैक्टर को कांस्टेंट रख रहे हैं, तो आउटपुट कितना ही बढ़ सकता है. देन इट रीचेस इट्स मैक्सिमम पॉइंट एंड अल्टीमेटली इट स्टार्ट्स डिक्लाइनिंग. So in nutshell, your shape of total physical product would be यहाँ तक increasing, then increases at a decreasing rate. Sorry, first increases at an increasing rate, increases at a decreasing rate, reaches maximum, ultimately starts declining. So when your TPP increases at increasing rate, that is increasing returns to variable factor. Then TPP although is increasing but at decreasing rate, diminishing returns to variable factor. Ultimately TPP reaches maximum and starts decline. तो यहां पर हम किसकी बात कर रहे हैं? रेट ऑफ चेंज की. तो रेट ऑफ चेंज आपको पता है क्या होता है? इट्स मेजर्ड बाय मार्जिनल. So if I ask you to calculate MPP, that is del TPP upon del Q, that is extra output produced by employing one extra unit of variable factor. APP क्या होता है? Del average is del by Q. Sorry, TPP upon Q. Normal total divided by quantity. So total physical product per unit of variable factor. Now पहले हमने बोल रहा था TPP increases at increasing rate. जब तक आपका TPP increasing rate से increase होता है, मतलब ये वाला फेज, देन ये फेज, मैक्स वाला फेज, डिक्लाइन वाला फेज, तो इस फेज पर आपका MPP इंक्रीज हो रहा होता है. जब आपका TPP डिक्रीजिंग रेट से इंक्रीज होना स्टार्ट हो जाता है, इसका मतलब MPP हैज स्टार्टेड डिक्लाइनिंग. जब TPP मैक्स है तो MPP 0 होगा. जब TPP डिक्लाइन हो रहा है तो मतलब MPP नेगेटिव हो चुका है. सो जब TPP इज इंक्रीजिंग एट इंक्रीजिंग रेट, तो दैट मीन्स जो मेरा रेट ऑफ चेंज है वो इंक्रीज हो रहा है. जब TPP इज इंक्रीजिंग एट डिक्रीजिंग रेट, मीन्स जो मेरा रेट ऑफ चेंज है वो डिक्लाइन हो रहा है. जब TPP अपने मैक्स पे पहुंच चुका है, रेट 0 है, तभी तो वो मैक्सिमम पहुंच चुका है. और जब TPP डिक्लाइन होना स्टार्ट हो चुका है, इसका मतलब रेट जो है वो नेगेटिव बन चुका है. So when MPP becomes negative, TPP will start to fall. Now APP हमने क्या बोला था? टोटल फिजिकल प्रोडक्ट डिवाइडेड बाय क्वांटिटी. सो जब तक आपका मार्जिनल आपके एवरेज से बड़ा है, तब तक एवरेज इंक्रीज होता रहेगा. जब मार्जिनल एवरेज से छोटा है, एवरेज विल स्टार्ट डिक्लाइनिंग. जब मार्जिनल और एवरेज इक्वल है, AP is at its maximum. So just note it down, everyone. So this was about the shapes of your output, which are dependent on two factors, variable factor and fixed factor. So when in start, you do not you increase your variable factor, your output increases at increasing rate. देन जब आप फिक्स को फिक्स रखते हो और वेरिएबल ही कंटिन्यूसली बढ़ाई जा रहे हो तो आउटपुट ऑल्दो इंक्रीज तो करेगा लेकिन डिक्रीजिंग रेट से इंक्रीज करेगा बिकॉज एमपीपी हैज स्टार्टेड declining. Ultimately, when MPP is zero, output is at its maximum. When output starts declining, MPP has become negative. Now let's talk about costs. अब cost भी दो तरीके की हैं. One is fixed, other one is variable. So fixed cost is a cost that do not vary with the level of output produced. Variable costs that vary with the level of output produced. Now, irrespective of whatever units of output I am producing, let's suppose my rent remains to be constant. So, my rent is fixed cost. Variable cost. Electricity is dependent on the level of units that you are producing. Advertisement is dependent on the level of units that you are producing. Any commission fees is dependent on the level of units. So, something that keeps on changing with the level of output, that's variable. Something that remains fixed irrespective of the level of outputs, that is fixed. So let's draw cost curve. यहाँ पे output, यहाँ पे cost. So fixed cost remains fixed irrespective of the level of output. So a normal constant straight line. Now let's talk about variable cost. Variable cost हम क्या बोलते हैं? Dependent on my TPP. पहले TPP is increasing at increasing rate. तो जब TPP is increasing at increasing rate, that is basically because of increasing returns to variable factor. तो जब वेरिएबल फैक्टर पे इंक्रीजिंग रिटर्न्स आ रहे हैं तो क्या हो रहा है कि जब आप फैक्टर इंक्रीज कर रहे हो तो उससे आपकी कॉस्ट ना इंक्रीज होकर आपका आउटपुट इंक्रीज हो रहा है. तो कॉस्ट इनिशियली में इंक्रीज तो करती है लेकिन डिक्रीजिंग रेट से. एक पॉइंट तक. वो पॉइंट कहाँ होता है? जब तक आपका इंक्रीजिंग रिटर्न्स अपने मैक्स पे ना पहुंच जाए. जब अल्टीमेटली डिक्लाइनिंग रिटर्न्स टू वेरिएबल फैक्टर स्टार्ट हो जाएंगे तो इसका क्या मतलब है कि आउटपुट पे इंक्रीज ज्यादा नहीं आएगा, कॉस्ट पे इंक्रीज ज्यादा आएगा. तो अल्टीमेटली कॉस्ट विल इंक्रीजिंग एट एन इंक्रीजिंग रेट. तो दिस इज TVC. So see, I have started at 0 because at output level of 0 your variable cost is 0. जब तक वेरिएबल फैक्टर्स इंक्रीजिंग रिटर्न्स पे रहेंगे तब तक कॉस्ट बढ़ेगी तो सही लेकिन डिक्रीजिंग रेट पर बढ़ेगी. Ultimately when it crosses beyond a certain level of output it increases at an increasing rate. Now if I ask you to draw a curve for TC, you know TC means total cost. It's equal to variable cost plus fixed cost. So I will start it from here. So even at 0 units of output, you know TC is equal to TFC because 0 unit पे भी हम TFC हमारी रहेगी. So this is my curve for TC and this difference is known as TFC. Now same, if I ask you to calculate average total cost, that is basically total cost divided by number of units of output produced. Average fixed cost TFC by Q. Average variable cost TVC by Q. Marginal cost is my change in cost as a result of one extra unit of production. So that means del TC by del Q, मतलब कॉस्ट में कितना चेंज आ रहा है. अब आपको पता है कि फिक्स कॉस्ट तो चेंज होती ही नहीं है, सिर्फ वेरिएबल कॉस्ट चेंज होती है. तो या तो मैं डेल टीसी बाय डेल क्यू कर लूं या फिर मैं डेल टीवीसी बाय डेल क्यू कर लूं, एक ही बात है, बिकॉज फिक्स कॉस्ट डज नॉट चेंज विद द लेवल ऑफ आउटपुट प्रोड्यूस्ड. Now, what were we saying about total cost? First increases at decreasing rate, then it starts matlab reaches its minimum, and ultimately start increasing at increasing rate. तो when total cost is increasing at decreasing rate, इसका मतलब आपकी marginal cost decline कर रही है. जब ultimately increasing at increasing rate, marginal cost has started rising. So this is my output, this is my cost. So first it increases, decreases, reaches its minimum and ultimately starts increasing. Let's talk about AC. AVC will always be less because आपको पता है AC के अंदर तीनों चीजें आती हैं. So जब आपका marginal आपके average से कम होता है, you know average is declining. जब मार्जिनल एवरेज से बड़ा होता है तो एवरेज इज राइजिंग. जब मार्जिनल और एवरेज इक्वल हैं तो एवरेज इज एट इट्स मिनिमम, एवरेज कांस्टेंट हो जाता है. सो ऑल एनी डाउट टिल हियर, एनीथिंग व्हिच इज नॉट क्लियर till this point? If everything is clear, just note it down. Now let's do one question. A firm's total fixed costs are 1200 if at a certain output level its average cost per unit are 12 and average variable cost per unit is 8, then the level of output is 100, 150, 300, 600. Start attempting it fast. TFC is given to you as 1200. AC at particular unit is given to you as 12. AVC at a particular unit is given to you as 8. And you are supposed to calculate the level of output. You can basically say AC आपको 12 given है, AVC आपको 8 given है. आपको पता है AC is equal to AFC plus AVC. So 12 is equal to X plus 8. So basically AFC is 4. TFC मुझे given है 1200. AFC given है 4. अब आपको पता है AFC is what? TFC divided by Q. So that means 1200 by Q is equal to 4. So 1200 by 4 is 300 is my Q. So answer is 300. Anyone having any doubts in this part? Let's do next question. State which of the following factors of production are likely to be classed as fixed or variable. किसको fixed कहेंगे, किसको variable कहेंगे? First one, a manager employed on a contract requiring 1 year's notice of dismissal. Second, a shop floor worker employed on a contract requiring 1 week's notice. Third, electricity. Fourth, raw materials. So आपको बताना है इसमें से कौन सा फैक्टर इज फिक्स्ड, कौन सा इज वेरिएबल. इलेक्ट्रिसिटी तो अभी हमने डिस्कस किया था. It's a variable factor of production. It will keep on changing with respect to changes in your units. Raw material, clearly again a variable factor. शॉप फ्लोर वर्कर एम्प्लॉयड ऑन अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, सिर्फ 1 वीक का नोटिस चाहिए, कभी भी टर्मिनेट कर सकते हैं, वेरिएबल. मैनेजर एम्प्लॉयड ऑन अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट रिक्वायरिंग 1 year's नोटिस ऑफ डिसमिसल, 1 साल लग जाएगा मैनेजर को डिसमिस करने के लिए, तब तक अगर कुछ भी नहीं प्रोडक्शन हो रही फिर भी हम उसको डिसमिस नहीं कर सकते. सो दैट मीन्स फिक्स्ड फैक्टर. Let's do next question. Complete the following table. Output is given to you as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. TC is given to you as 10, 11, 12.41, 13. You are supposed to calculate AC and MC. So start doing it fast. So AC you know is basically TC by Q. So यहाँ पर आ जाएगा infinity 11 5. So just check on your values. MC is change in TC. So everyone just check, are you getting the same values? Now let's move to next topic, production in long run. Now you know that in long run, all the factors are variable. Now since all the factors are variable, so firms will need to make decisions about the scale of production. So now let's talk about scale of production. Scale of production means changing the scale of production refers to changing all factor inputs by the same percentage. Now let's suppose that in long run my production is dependent on capital and labor, and we know that both the factors are variable because nothing is kept fixed. So since nothing is fixed, so I can change both of them. So if I'm changing the scale of production, that means I am changing all the inputs by the same percentage. So either it has to be F2K12, that means you are increasing the inputs by the same percentage. It can be half K half well, that means you are decreasing the inputs by the same percentage. So when we say there are increasing returns to scale, increasing returns to scale means changing all inputs by same percentage leads to greater percentage change in output. Let's suppose मैंने inputs, अगर सारे inputs मैंने double करे तो मेरा output more than double हो गया. तो जब ऐसी situation होती है उसको कहते हैं increasing returns to scale. Then we have constant returns to scale. That means when changing all inputs by the same percentage leads to same percentage change in output. अगर आपने inputs double किए हैं तो automatically output भी double होगा. So constant means if inputs are doubled, my output is also doubled. My inputs को हम same change करेंगे, दोनों input same change होंगे, automatically output या तो same change होगा या less than same होगा. So if it is remains same, it's constant. अगर inputs double किया output more than double होता है तो that means increasing returns to scale. Now opposite is decreasing returns to scale. Changing all inputs by the same percentage leads to smaller percentage change in output. Let's suppose मैंने inputs double कर दिए, मेरा output is increasing by less than double. That is decreasing returns to scale. नेक्स्ट टॉपिक इज इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्केल. नाम से ही पता चल रहा है, बहुत बार यूज किया हमने ये वर्ड इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्केल. इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्केल मींस हमने स्केल ऑफ प्रोडक्शन को इंक्रीज किया, और स्केल ऑफ प्रोडक्शन इंक्रीज होने की वजह से माय लॉन्ग रन एवरेज कॉस्ट इज फॉलिंग. So basically increasing returns to scale will result in economies of scale. इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्केल का मतलब क्या है? दैट आपकी एवरेज कॉस्ट लॉन्ग रन के अंदर, अब लॉन्ग रन प्रोडक्शन की बात करें बिकॉज हमने सारे फैक्टर्स को वेरिएबल कर दिए. सो लॉन्ग रन एवरेज कॉस्ट फॉल होनी चाहिए अगर हम लोग कैपिटल या लेबर बढ़ा भी रहे हैं तो. सो दिस विल रिजल्ट इन इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्केल. नाउ कॉजेज ऑफ दीज इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्केल कैन बी, हो सकता है आपके पास स्पेशलाइजेशन हो, then maybe division of labor, work is broken down into smaller units, then we have indivisibilities, next maybe because of container principle, और जितना आप कैपिटल इक्विपमेंट बढ़ाते रहते हो उतनी आपकी कॉस्ट फॉलिंग होती रहती है. सो एवरेज कॉस्ट ऑफ अ यूनिट of output produced by capital equipment falls with the size of equipment. Then maybe because of efficiency of large machines. Maybe we are producing byproducts. Byproducts means when goods are produced, two goods are produced profitably. So maybe because of production of byproducts, maybe because of multi-stage production. So इन सब की वजह से basically ये क्या reasons है? When you are increasing your size, you achieve specialization because of division of labor, because of increasing your container size, because of greater large machines that you are appointing, or products, different byproducts that you are producing, multi-stage production that's going on. Diseconomies means when long run average cost falls, sorry, rises as the scale of production is increased. अब डिसइकोनॉमीज का मतलब है आपकी एवरेज कॉस्ट बढ़ेगी. अगर आप सेल ऑफ प्रोडक्शन इंक्रीज करोगे तो आपकी बेसिकली एवरेज कॉस्ट कम होने की बजाय बढ़ेगी. क्यों? मे बी बिकॉज ऑफ मैनेजरियल प्रॉब्लम्स, मैनेजमेंट नहीं अच्छी, issues in coordination and communication. You should note it down because you can be asked what are the reasons or causes for economies of scale and what are the reasons for diseconomies. Maybe because we are not motivating our workforce, so poor motivation of workforce. Maybe because of poor industrial relations, or maybe because of problems in one area holding up all production. Just note it down. Now, let's talk about external economies of scale. External economies of scale matlab when basically long run average cost of a firm is falling, that is normal economies of scale. हमने economies of scale में क्या किया था? When long run average cost is falling as a result of increasing the scale of production. यहाँ पर वहां पर हम लोग only specifically when we are increasing the scale of production of one particular firm. यहाँ पर external economies of scale means when average cost is falling as a result of as size of whole industry increases. If my industry size is increasing and long run cost of a firm is declining, that's external economies. So improvements in industries infrastructure can lead to external economies of scale. Next we have external diseconomies of scale. That is where a firm's average cost rise as the size of whole industry increases. So in long run, if we are asked to choose optimum combination कि हमें कितना प्रोड्यूस करना चाहिए, कितने लेबर रखनी चाहिए, कितनी कैपिटल रखनी चाहिए, so basically the cost minimizing combination is MPPK upon PK is equal to MPPL upon PL. That is MPK means extra output produced as a result of extra unit of capital. MPL extra output produced as a result of extra unit of labor. So MPK upon PK means जितना extra output वहां से produced हुआ divided by price of labor capital is equal to MPL upon PL. This refers to cost minimizing combination of factors for a given output level. This is also known as टेक्निकल और प्रोडक्टिव एफिशिएंसी. ये तो तब है जब सिर्फ दो ही फैक्टर्स यूज हो रहे हैं. सपोजिंगली वी हैव अ केस ऑफ मल्टी फैक्टर, तो MPA अपॉन PA इज इक्वल टू MPB अपॉन PB इज इक्वल टू MPC अपॉन PC and so on till MPN upon PN. सो लॉन्ग रन में बेसिकली हमारी जो कॉस्ट का होता है वो क्या होता है? फर्स्ट कॉस्ट कीप्स ऑन डिक्लाइनिंग बिकॉज ऑफ economies of scale, then it becomes constant because of constant economies of scale, and ultimately it starts increasing because of diseconomies of scale. So cost actually में decreases, मान लो सिर्फ यहाँ तक, so decreases up to a certain level of output due to economies of scale and ultimately increases beyond a certain level of output due to diseconomies of scale. ये जो आउटपुट होता है, this is known as minimum efficient scale, output level beyond which no further economies of scale can be achieved. सो लॉन्ग रन एवरेज कॉस्ट कर्व हो गया हमारा, ये बेसिकली सॉसर शेप्ड कांस्टेंट भी होता है, और इसमें बहुत सारे ऐसे छोटे छोटे शॉर्ट रन कर्व्स भी होंगे हमारे. So long run average cost curve is typically an envelope curve lying below the corresponding short run average cost curves. So long run cost curve is below the short run cost curve because in long run all the quantities of inputs can be varied. So अगर हम सारी inputs वेरी कर सकते हैं तो सारी inputs को optimal utilization पे achieve कर सकते हैं, hence can be optimized. But in short run some are fixed, so cannot be re-optimized. So note it down. All these things are important. I have told you already before, chapter 5, 6 are quite exhaustive. There are lot and lot of things in this chapter. So आप देख रहे हो कि कॉस्ट ही अपने आप में कितना एग्जॉस्टिव. अभी कॉस्ट के बाद हमने रेवेन्यू निकालना सीखना है, रेवेन्यू के बाद हमें प्रॉफिट निकालना सीखना है, एंड देन हम लोग डिफरेंट इंडस्ट्रीज टच करेंगे. दैट्स बेसिकली चैप्टर 7, 8. So note it down. Now you can get a question, how can firm achieve economies of scale? How can firm achieve diseconomies of scale? Reasons behind economies, reasons behind diseconomies, causes of economies of scale. So you know overall answers for any type of these questions. Clear? तो यहीं पे वाइंड अप करते हैं आज की क्लास. इन नेक्स्ट क्लास आई विल बी कंप्लीटिंग रेवेन्यू प्रॉफिट मैक्सिमाइजेशन along with numericals corresponding to this, and then in the next to next class we will be picking on the indifference curve and budget line. So that's it for the day from my side. Thank you.